The following will contain biased, satirical, and Canadian points of view of history and may not necessarily reflect the opinions of other nations. Viewer discretion is advised.
Como. 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Yeah. Yeah. From the land of...
Oh, hi! Welcome to another episode of Canada A. This episode is really special because it's been almost 3 years since the first Canada A episode aired. Isn't that amazing? Wow, it seems like it was just yesterday, but that wouldn't have been possible at all without all of you supporting us. So thank you so much for watching and listening to the stories we're telling. It's also a time for reflection. A lot of things has happened, not only in the project, but in Canada as well. Well, last year, we had so many things happen already, like the municipal and federal elections. Prince William and Lady Catherine came over for a visit. We also completed the active combat mission in Afghanistan. There's also that announcement that Canada's military is going back to its roots. While here on, the Canadian Forces will be once again known as its original designation. The Land Force will now be known as the Canadian Army. Air Command will once again be known as the Royal Canadian Air Force.
Mama's boy!
And Maritime Command will once again be known as the Royal Canadian Navy.
Radcoat wannabe ass-kisser turncoat!
Because restoring these identities is an important way of reconnecting back to our proud military history.
Of being England's weak, obedient little lapdog.
Is there something you want to say, Al?
Yes, I have something to say. How can you call yourself an independent nation? Then cling on to the symbols that represent your chains of slavery and colonialism.
First of all, Al, from what I remember, I wasn't the only one who was starstruck when Prince William and Lady Catherine visited. And it's really none of your business if I choose to name my military to connect back to my British roots. Though, I do admit, England isn't really the best role model to strive for when it comes to law and order.
American super cops? What do you mean we need help from American super cops? What's wrong with our own? Excuse me! I'm on the phone here!
Al, whether you like it or not, me being part of the British Empire was, and still is, just as big as a part of me as being a part of France and me being my own person. I'm not going to turn my back on my past. If it weren't for the things that happened then, both good or bad, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Right. But then again, what do you expect from someone who had to beg for his independence?
Oh, get off it, Al. We both know that you didn't win your American Revolution because you won fights. Your George Washington was actually infamous in the British Army for losing most of his battles. Your revolutionists' main goal was to stretch the revolution for as long as possible so that it will become too expensive for England to keep fighting to think that you're worth keeping.
But lies! What do you know?
Because that's pretty much how I got my independence in the first place.
So, about your independence.
Yes?
Here are my conditions. The Governor-General, who will represent our King or Queen, still has the final say on province laws within 1 year of receiving the paperwork.
Okay. But my provinces will still get their own say on the specific details how to govern their own people.
Fine. You can decide which powers and responsibilities go to the federal and provincial governments. Your provinces can decide on their own civil laws, but the federal parliament gets final power to act appropriately in accordance to maintaining peace, order, and good government.
Does that mean my parliament will still have to follow orders from Queen Victoria?
Matthew, you know too well that even my own parliament doesn't really follow orders from the Queen anymore. But yes, you will still require to pledge allegiance to her just like everyone else in the Empire.
Fine.
There you go! You are now technically independent.
Hey! What are these require parental consent clauses for?
Oh, Matthew. Just because I'm no longer giving you your allowance, you don't expect me to completely leave you to fend for yourself and be led into the clutches of the evildoers of the world, do you?
Bless you,
Thank you. Well, at least I never went crying back to Mummy like a little crybaby.
says the person who tried to invade me twice, failed and went home crying.
Lies! Even after kicking Germany's butt in the First World War, you're the one who still depended heavily on England bailing out at the first sign of trouble.
Listen up! Alfred already attempted it twice, so we know that it's just a matter of time before he tries it again. So I've come up with a counterattack plan to put into action as soon as we get evidence of an American invasion. We shall call it Defense Scheme Number 1. Ladies, you will use Pacific Command to seize Seattle.
Right!
You three will take Prairie Command and seize Great Falls, then move on to take Minneapolis.
Yes, sir!
Quebec, you will take Quebec Command to seize Albany.
Yeah, piece of cake.
Nova Scotia, you and New Brunswick will take the Navy to lead the counterattack to Maine.
Alright, Captain.
Ontario, you will take the Great Lakes Command. Alfred is most likely going to send his main force through the Great Lakes, so you will assume a defense position against his main forces. If you are successful in defending the Great Lakes area, you will then launch counterattacks through the Niagara River and the St. Clair River.
Bring them on.
What do we do if we're overpowered? As much as I don't want to believe that we will lose, I already have a backup plan. First, everyone will retreat back to our borders. Then, we will destroy all bridges and railways to slow down the American armies pursuing us.
Maddie? This looks like a well-planned plan. But what's the purpose of this invasion? It's obvious it's not long-term.
Of course not. It's merely to buy us time until we can come up with a war plan appropriate to incoming attacks while waiting for reinforcements from England. Or limit Alfred's advances long enough to the point that maybe he'll get bored and goes home.
Oh, hey, that is a fantastically desperate, stupid plan. It might actually work.
It's as confusing as using a U-boat on landlocked land.
A U-boat on land, eh?
And people think I'm the illogical one. Honestly, I don't understand how your plans actually worked in taking down Germany in World War I. I mean, what country stages a submarine in a shopping mall? A shopping mall!
Well, how else am I going to subdue pirates if I don't park it in one of Alberta's malls?
What? You have pirates?
In the River Saskatchewan.
I hate you so much.
Oh, come off it, Al. That plan was terminated 2 years before your own invasion plan was approved.
Invasion plan? Me? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Liar.
Listen up, troops. It's time we finally wage a war to finally rid ourselves of our mortal enemy. That suffocating shadow brought by his tyrannical imperial rule. That's right, the time has come for us to slay the Red Menace. War plan, Red.
So, another one has been crushed beneath my foot, and thus expands the Empire of Britannia, the ruler of the world. But there is still one who eludes me, still one who dares defy me. But that shall all end very soon. It is time. Go, my 5 generals, and destroy America!
We're loyal soldiers!
Scarlet, Australia!
Got it, New Zealand.
Ruby, India.
Crimson, Canada!
Emerald Ireland.
Oh,
Hail
Britannia.
Sir? Emerald isn't a red color?
Oh yeah. Ah well, it doesn't matter. I'll use this anyway.
But sir, how do we plan to attack England when he's all the way there and we're all the way here?
Good question, soldiers. Since England is so far away, then we will attack the next best thing. We will target Crimson Canada. For sure, evil Emperor Red England will use Maddie, like also you, as a strategic point to attack us. This is the perfect opportunity to neutralize the Red Menace's hold in North America and save Maddie from his evil clutches. First order is a naval base in Halifax. Capturing Halifax will cut off naval links between England and Canada, and if we fail to get Halifax, the Navy will take New Brunswick to cut off Nova Scotia from the rest of Canada. This one is actually pretty easy, because it's so far away from here. But occupying Vancouver and Victoria will deny England a naval base and cut off Canada from the Pacific Ocean. Winnipeg is the heart of Canada's railway system. Controlling it will completely cut off Canada's provinces from each other. In the meantime, we will also take Montreal and Quebec City. Controlling the St. Lawrence will cut off the remainder of Canada from the east and will prevent soldiers and resources from moving in both directions. Finally, capturing Toronto will paralyze Canada's industries. It will prevent England and Canada from using air or land attacks against their own industrial heartland in the Midwest. Controlling the Great Lakes is absolutely necessary to sustain our invasion. We are going to start off with building 3 secret military airfields near the Canadian border and disguising them as civilian airports for our surprise attack. Maddie won't even know what hit him.
Too bad your government printing office was just as idiotic as you are, and published your secret airfields plans in the front page of the New York Times.
Wasn't a real plan anyway. It was a military exercise.
Your Secretary of War declassified the files in 1974, remember? Well, it didn't help that our bosses were already at odds with each other at that time.
I am happy to proclaim that the US President has told me that the US understands that Canada does not want it to be its colony. This to me was a fantastically new statement in the mouth of the President of the United States.
Asshole.
I've been called worse by better people.
Oh my god. I remember that boss of yours. He's that cummy-loving jerk. He was a jerk.
Look, Al. There were times when we didn't see eye to eye and we both did some stupid things to each other in the past. Chances are, there will be times when we won't see eye to eye and will do stupid things to each other in the future. I don't really like fighting with you, especially with something over so petty. Can we just agree to disagree with how I name my military?
Fine. That's what makes you happy.
Thank you, Al.
And helps you sleep better at night.
Thank you, Al.
But don't say I didn't warn you about Emperor Red.
Thank you, Al. Oh, great. Thanks a lot, Al. It looks like we ran out of time.
Already? But it doesn't feel like we actually started yet. What was the point of this episode anyway?
What was the point? What was the point? I'll tell you the point, Claudius. This is just another example of how I give Canada great leaders who, in the short history of this ungrateful nation, strove only to give us true independence, a real identity. But again and again, for every step forward I make, you undo my effort and take a step back. Well, I'm sick of it. If none of you are interested in being truly independent, then I will do it. Fight for independence myself, even if it means fighting independence from you, or you, and especially
Let's go to the X.
you!
Whoa, boy! Whoa, so high. It's okay. We know you're upset, but it's nobody's fault. There's no use blaming it on anybody.
It's not fair.
Yeah, I know. But everything will be okay. Hope and optimism and all that jazz, right?
Oh, I'm so sad.
Yeah, I know. Look, we'll put on some cement and we'll get you a nice, tall, ice cold glass of orange crush. And you'll be right, right.
Huh?
You wouldn't understand.